With Saul's story paused and the church enjoying a new season of peace, Luke's camera now pans to Peter. We haven't heard much about the apostle since the dramatic events in Jerusalem, but Peter hasn't been idle. He's been doing what itinerant missionaries do. He's been traveling from place to place, strengthening believers, watching God work. And what happens next shows that the same power at work in Saul's conversion is at work through Peter's ministry too. And it sets the stage for an even bigger breakthrough that's about to come. Let's read Acts 9:32 through 35. And Peter was traveling from place to place. He also came down to the saints who lived in Lydda. There he found a man named Aeneas, who was paralyzed and had been bedridden for 8 years. Peter said to him, "Aeneas, Jesus Christ heals you. Get up and make your bed." And immediately he got up, so that all who lived in Lydda and Sharon saw him and turned to the Lord. Peter was traveling from place to place, and the phrase suggests a deliberate pastoral circuit. He wasn't just wandering around. He was visiting the scattered churches. He was strengthening what God had planted through the persecution. This is, frankly, the unglamorous work of ministry, showing up, encouraging believers, dealing with problems, and praying for the sick. So Peter came to the saints in Lydda, about 25 miles northwest of Jerusalem, roughly 2/3 of the way to the Mediterranean coast. Philip had passed through this region earlier on his way to Caesarea, and apparently the believers there were now established. And Luke introduces us to Aeneas, a man paralyzed and bedridden for 8 years. Can you imagine 8 years? That's 2,920 days of waking up unable to move, unable to work, unable to care for yourself. And so we don't know if Aeneas was a believer or not. The text doesn't really say, but what we do know is that Peter found him, and Peter saw his condition, and he spoke words of healing. Aeneas, Jesus Christ heals you. Again, not I heal you, not watch what I can do. But Peter, in the statement, Peter is just crystal clear about the source of the power. Jesus Christ is the healer. Peter is just the instrument, a vessel through which the power flows. This echoes what Peter said earlier at the beautiful gate, remember, back in Acts 3. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, get up and walk. And so the pattern is consistent here. The apostle is always deflecting attention from himself to Christ. And this healing parallels Jesus' ministry with echoes of his healing of the paralytic in Luke 5. Peter's just doing what Jesus promised his disciples would do. Remember, he said in John 14, "The works that I do, you will also do." And so the ministry of Jesus didn't end at the ascension. It continues now through his Spirit-empowered followers. And I love the instruction here. Get up and make your bed. It's got such an interesting flair. Some scholars suggest it could mean prepare your table or get yourself some food. But either way, the point is clear. Your bedridden days are over. Don't just lie there marveling at what happened. Like, get up and live your life. There's work to do. And so the healing is not just restoration. It's a commissioning. You have been given your life back. Now use it well. And the healing resulted in all who lived in Lydda and Sharon turning to the Lord. There's an evangelistic purpose behind these miracles. The miracle confirms the message. And so Aeneas walking around was a living testimony to the power of Jesus Christ. One man healed, but an entire region converted. The Sharon plain stretched from Lydda all the way up to Mount Carmel, a Gentile region that's now being touched by the gospel. And there's a principle here that I think is worth noting. God often works through small beginnings to achieve large outcomes. Peter dealt with one man, but then many turned to the Lord. And so we tend to measure significance by scale right off the bat. Bigger is always better. More is always superior. But God measures differently. One divine appointment can become a tipping point for many others. One act of obedience can trigger a wave of response. And so I would just remind us all, myself included, don't despise the day of small things. The person you pray for, the neighbor you serve, the coworker you share your story with. Like, you have no idea what God might do through that single encounter. What might a step of ordinary obedience look like today? Here's a reflection for today. I would just ask, where has God been at work in your life, bringing healing, bringing restoration, maybe a breakthrough of some kind? And then who needs to know about it? Not for your glory, but for his. Aeneas got up, he made his bed, and an entire region turned to the Lord. So your testimony isn't just for you, it's ammunition for someone else's faith. Who's waiting to hear that Jesus is still in the healing business? Tell them what he's done for you. Let your life become someone else's reason to believe. Let's catch up again tomorrow.